Tensions in the Middle East have reached a critical tipping point, as global eyes turn toward the growing military presence in the Persian Gulf. The strategic positioning of Iran and the United States has created a complex web of geopolitical maneuvers that could reshape regional stability for decades. Recent news cycles have been dominated by reports of rapid troop deployments and escalating rhetoric from both Washington and Tehran. Following incidents involving oil tankers and downed drones, the threat of direct military confrontation has never felt more tangible in the modern era. On the ground, the arrival of heavy transport aircraft at desert bases signifies a logistics chain operating at peak capacity. Supplies, equipment, and personnel are being funneled into the region to bolster defenses and project American power across the Middle East. To understand this potential conflict, we must first look at the sheer economic weight behind the American military machine. With an annual budget projected to surpass $686 billion, the financial resources available to the U.S. remain unmatched. This funding supports a massive network of active-duty personnel and reservists, trained for rapid response in any environment across the globe. Training exercises are constant, ensuring that units are prepared for the unique challenges of desert warfare and urban operations. Beyond the infantry, the U.S. military relies on a sophisticated infrastructure of technicians and engineers who maintain the world's most advanced weaponry. Tactical equipment and encrypted communication systems provide a decisive edge, allowing for real-time coordination across thousands of miles. Perhaps the most significant advantage held by the United States is its total air superiority, led by fifth-generation stealth fighters. The F-35 Lightning II serves as a multi-role powerhouse, designed to penetrate enemy airspace while remaining undetected by traditional radar systems. Stealth technology extends to the long-range bomber fleet, where the B-21 Raider represents the next evolution in global strike capabilities. In a direct comparison, the U.S. Air Fleet consists of over 13,000 aircraft, dwarfing the regional capabilities of any single adversary. This aerial dominance allows the U.S. to strike targets with precision while maintaining a significant buffer from ground-based threats. On the ground, the M1 Abrams tank remains the backbone of American armored divisions, known for its destructive power and resilience. These massive machines are capable of operating in the harshest desert conditions, providing a formidable deterrent to any ground invasion. But the true reach of American power is found on the high seas, where aircraft carrier strike groups project force globally. With 20 carriers in active or reserve status, the U.S. can deploy a mobile airbase to any coastline within days. Beneath the waves, 68 submarines provide a silent and deadly layer of defense and offensive capability. This combination of surface and underwater assets ensures that the U.S. Navy maintains control over vital maritime choke points like the Strait of Hormuz. Iran, however, utilizes an asymmetric strategy, focusing on regional influence, missile technology, and unconventional naval tactics. The disparity in conventional hardware is vast, but the geopolitical context adds layers of complexity that hardware alone cannot resolve. As the sun sets over forward operating bases, the gravity of the situation remains a central focus for world leaders. The collapse of the 2015 nuclear deal and subsequent violations have only added fuel to an already volatile regional fire. In summary, while the U.S. holds a massive technological and numerical lead, the outcome of any conflict depends on much more than just statistics. The world continues to watch, hoping that diplomacy can find a path forward before the tension leads to an irreversible escalation. Up next, we analyze the stark contrast in military capabilities of the Islamic Republic of Iran in a potential conflict. The disparity begins with the checkbook. Iran's defense budget sits at $43 billion, a fraction of the United States' massive military spending. On the ground, Iran relies heavily on its sheer volume of personnel, boasting over 500,000 active duty troops. This massive force is bolstered by an additional 350,000 reserves, trained for defensive operations within their borders. However, numerical strength faces a technological wall. Iran's armored divisions consist of roughly 1,600 tanks, many being aging or domestic variants. Contrast this with the American M1 Abrams, a modern marvel of armor and lethality that defines the gold standard of ground warfare. Iran's fleet of over 2,000 armored fighting vehicles provides mobility, but they face a daunting challenge against US air-to-ground superiority. In the skies, the story is one of preservation versus innovation. Iran operates around 500 aircraft, many dating back to the Cold War. These Mirage and Sukhoi jets are maintained through extensive domestic engineering, but they lack the stealth and sensors of fifth-generation fighters. The IAIO Kur 313 represents Iran's stealth ambitions, though the international community remains skeptical of its actual combat feasibility and production status. The U.S. Air Force, by comparison, dominates with a vast fleet of 35s and F-22s, designed to strike before they are ever detected. At sea, Iran understands it cannot match the U.S. in traditional carrier groups, opting instead for a strategy of asymmetric naval warfare. They utilize a fleet of 34 submarines and 6 frigates to control the narrow and strategic waters of the Persian Gulf. Swarming tactics using small, high-speed boats armed with missiles are designed to overwhelm larger, slower targets in confined maritime spaces. Operating in the shadows is the Quds Force, an elite unit of the Revolutionary Guard specializing in unconventional warfare and regional influence. With up to 30,000 operatives, they extend Iran's reach far beyond its borders through proxy networks and intelligence operations. While Iran has developed formidable domestic defense industries, the technological gap between their aging hardware and modern U.S. forces is immense. Strategic depth and geography favor Iran, but sheer firepower and global logistics favor the United States in any sustained military engagement. As the world watches, the balance of power remains a complex equation of technology, willpower, and the high cost of conflict. The shadows of conflict have long loomed over the Persian Gulf, a region where geopolitical tensions frequently reach a boiling point. Across the horizon, mobile missile launchers stand ready in the vast Iranian deserts, symbolizing a nation prepared for asymmetric defense. The United States possesses the world's most advanced air force, featuring fifth-generation stealth fighters like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning. In contrast, Iran focuses on asymmetric naval capabilities, utilizing swarms of small, fast boats designed to overwhelm larger vessels in narrow straits. Statistical comparisons reveal the U.S. military's dominance in electronic warfare and satellite reconnaissance, allowing for unprecedented battlefield awareness. However, military might is often checked by the harsh reality of terrain. Iran is effectively a natural fortress, protected by formidable mountain ranges. The Zagros Mountains stretch across the west, featuring jagged peaks and narrow passes that would make any land invasion a logistical nightmare. To the north, the Alborz Range provides another layer of defense, shielding major population centers and industrial hubs from external threats. Tehran, the capital, is nestled at the foot of these mountains, making it difficult to reach without traversing high-altitude terrain and heavily defended routes. The nuclear dimension adds another layer of complexity. International inspectors monitor facilities, while global powers debate the limits of enrichment. Graphics illustrate the breakout time, the period required to produce enough material for a weapon, a critical metric in diplomatic negotiations. While the U.S. maintains a hardline stance, European diplomats often seek a middle ground, emphasizing the importance of the nuclear deal to regional stability. On the streets of global capitals, protests reflect the public's divide over sanctions, highlighting the humanitarian impact and the fear of escalating war. Modern warfare in this region would not be a swift victory. It would likely become a quagmire of long supply lines and urban resistance. The logistical challenge of maintaining forces across vast, rugged distances would drain resources and test the endurance of even the strongest military. Guerrilla-style resistance in dense urban environments like Isfahan would present constant threats, making traditional territorial control nearly impossible to sustain. Recognizing these immense costs, the international community continues to emphasize that diplomacy is the only sustainable path forward. World leaders gather in summits, seeking to bridge the gap between national security interests and the preservation of global peace. The high cost of war makes the price of diplomacy essential. In a world of shared risks, the pursuit of understanding remains our strongest defense. In summary, the conflict between Iran and the U.S. is a multifaceted struggle defined by technological disparity, geographical barriers, and ideological divides. While military options are often discussed, the reality of a prolonged engagement and the potential for regional destabilization underscore the vital necessity of dialogue.